Hi everyone, my name is Steve Trotter and I'm Careers Hub Operation Lead here in Hertfordshire for Hertfordshire Careers Hub. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our Enterprise Advisor induction. For those of you that have had technical difficulties or unable to join our in-person or our virtual enterprise induction, I'm going to run through some things today as well as the slides to help you start on your Enterprise Advisor journey. So I oversee Hertfordshire's schools, and we work with 111 schools and colleges in Hertfordshire, and we're divided up into different districts of the county where we've got enterprise coordinators enrolled to support you with your school or college. So today I'm going to run through a little bit about the role of the enterprise coordinator and the careers leader and who us, the Careers Enterprise Company, are. We're going to also talk to you about the 8 Gatsby benchmarks, which are the benchmarks that all schools and colleges in Hertfordshire and in England are working towards. And a college or a school can score anywhere between 0 and 100% on each of the Gatsby benchmarks when it comes to their careers programme. And they're trying to get things in place from every year group 7 all the way up to year 11, or if they've got a sixth form up to year 13. But they've got absolutely nothing to do with the Great Gatsby. With those Gatsby benchmarks, they are measured and audited using Compass or Compass Plus, and a little bit later on in the session, we'll tell you a bit about those, as well as the Gatsby benchmarks. We'll look at performance as to how schools are doing in Hertfordshire, but also how schools are doing generally in England when it comes to their careers programmes. We'll help you with some resources, Hertfordshire Opportunities Portal, HOP, and some of the information on there, including local labour market information and other growth sectors and priorities. We'll go through places where you can look for useful resources, find out about key dates of things happening coming up, and also how to problem solve or what questions to ask your careers leaders in your first few meetings. So a bit about us. We are the Careers and Enterprise Company, and in Hertfordshire, we do the contract, and we're from Hertfordshire Local Enterprise Partnership. We're here to inspire and support young people into the fast-changing world of work. We're trying to strengthen that link between education and employment and shorten that gap. And we want to raise the profile of quality careers education in schools and colleges by backing the 8 Gatsby benchmarks. And we want to raise aspirations among young people to help every young person find their next best step. And we know that that will be different and tailored to each young person. We want to help provide a modern, high quality 21st century careers education to all young people in Hertfordshire. We want to support the schools and colleges as much as possible to deliver excellent careers education. We'd love you guys as employers to engage with education with purpose and for the long term, and to involve every young person in careers education, regardless of their starting point or circumstance. So here in Hertfordshire, we work with mainstream schools, special schools, education support centres, and the colleges to help every young person find their next best step. We've been doing this work since about 2016. So over a period since 2015, so over a period of time, what we've been looking to do has started to evolve. And our priorities for this year will include raising the quality of careers provision in schools and colleges, driving high quality experiences with employers and employers, such as experiences of the workplace, the opportunity to visit workplaces, careers fairs, mock interviews, lots of different ways of engaging, amplifying apprenticeships and technical vocational routes through something called the Provider Access Legislation, which means that all schools in the country need to allow colleges and employers to come in and talk about technical qualifications and apprenticeships in year 8, year 9, year 10, year 11, if they've got a sixth form, year 12 and year 13. And we want to help economically disadvantaged young people. So some of our programmes go that extra mile to help free school meal students. And we want to connect careers provision and colleges to the local economy and our growth sectors. Along the way, we'd like your help to get as many schools using our free tool, Compass Plus, to measure their Gatsby benchmarks. So our role is to build network with you guys as employers and enterprise advisors to support the careers leader and back the Gatsby benchmarks. I'm now going to show you a short video from the Chief Executive Officer of the Careers and Enterprise Company, Ollie de Botton, who talks a little bit more about what I've just said.
Hello, my name is Ollie de Botton and I'm the Chief Executive of the Careers and Enterprise Company. I just wanted to share with you some information about our mission, our vision and our priorities. We have been governed by the careers strategy, the government's careers strategy that has just come to an end. And in a way it's been replaced by the FE and Skills bill, which is going through Parliament at the moment, which seeks to put skills at the heart of the education system. We're also governed by the statutory guidance around careers, and we feel very privileged to be part of the system going forward. So that governs our work, but within that we've got a mission, we've got a vision, and we've got some priorities. So our mission, which I hope we share with you, is to help every young person find their best next step. And we know that the best next step is not the same for every young person, which is why it's absolutely fantastic that we've got FE, independent training providers and apprenticeship providers as part of our network, so we can give young people access to all the options. We know that some young people face difficulties finding their best next step, and that careers education has a role to play in removing barriers where we find them. We also know that what we experience influences where we go, which is why we place such an emphasis on employers getting involved in careers education, helping young people, inspiring young people about what's to come, including the routes in. So these assumptions lead us to a vision. We want modern, high quality, 21st century careers education for everyone, everywhere. And how are we going to do that? We want to support schools and colleges as much as possible to deliver brilliant careers education. We want to support employers to engage in education with purpose and for the long term. And we want to include every young person in careers education, regardless of their starting point or circumstance. So what are our priorities for this year? Well, there are three. The first one is we want as much impact as possible in the system. And what does that mean? That means amplifying those high quality technical and vocational routes, including apprenticeships. It means listening to the voice of young people to make sure the inputs that we're putting in have the right impact on them. And it means using some of our digital tools, particularly Compass Plus, that will allow us to track what intervention is having what impact. Our second priority is making sure we include all young people in careers education, working to remove barriers. What does that mean? It means connecting employers to education and educational institutions that need them most. It means having a focus on those key transition points where we know that sometimes talent can be lost. And our third priority is making sure the system is set up for the long term. And that means one thing: focus on leadership. So we'll continue to train those careers leaders with tools and techniques to support their careers programs, and we'll continue to seek to raise their profile and status in the profession. We'll provide additional support for governors, head teachers, college principals to support the system. But we'll also make sure that discussions about economic growth are also discussions about careers education, putting careers education front and centre of the economic debate. So in short, we want to have a high impact system, we want to include every young person, and we want to focus on leadership. Maybe that is simple, but we think that's the right approach for this academic year as we seek to welcome young people back to schools. And I guess
So great to hear from Ollie there around our aims and our vision that will get you guys to really help us with this academic year. Team structure, so here in Hertfordshire we are overseen by Gareth Dace, our Careers Hub strategic lead. I'm Steve Trotter, as I've already mentioned, the Careers Hub operations lead. I oversee the team around the county and also work quite closely with the Welland Hatfield schools. We've got Chris Doughton as the enterprise coordinator supporting the Broxbourne and East Hertfordshire schools. Shay Costello supporting the schools in Watford, Three Rivers and Hartsmere. Leslie Leggett supporting St Albans and Decorum schools, and Jackie Gascoigne supporting all of the SEND, special educationally needs schools. And we'll have a new enterprise coordinator starting shortly, covering the Stevenage and North Herts schools. So what is an enterprise advisor? Business volunteer, someone dedicated to make an impact on outcomes for young people, are willing to volunteer their time, support the school or college SLT and careers leader with their careers plan and programme, and engaging other local businesses or people within their network to support their school or college. Hopefully along the way, you'll develop some of your skills around communication and strategy, You'll support local young students, give them an indicator as to what your sector or what your job role entails, help them develop their skills and get a better understanding of the challenges within going into the world of work, but also yourself understanding the challenges within education sector currently. So if you're in the in-person or the EA induction online at this point, we would go around and find out from each enterprise advisor why they wanted to volunteer as an EA. But now this is a time for you to reflect on what it is you want to get from the role. Is it to help young people who face similar things to you when you were at school? Is it to give something back? Is it for your professional skills and experience? Is it to support a specific community? Show young people what your sector's like or have access to early talent? Experience a new challenge or be part of change when it comes to careers in a school or college, or something completely different. So really interesting for you to think about that whilst watching this video.
Helping to change the system, helping schools shape the future. The role of an enterprise advisor has such huge capacity to impact the lives of young people.
It's about making connections between schools and the world of work, making students aware of the different pathways and opportunities that are available.
The value an enterprise advisor brings to all of this is that they bring a set of eyes that a school or college may not have.
To help the careers leads understand the needs of tomorrow's workforce.
It gives me the personal growth to be able to deal with much greater things than I could without the role.
We work very closely with career advisors to make sure their programs are relevant and up to date with both policy and at the same time curriculum guidance as it pertains to industry.
Linking employers and education together is absolutely vital. It enables schools, teachers, everybody to stay up to date with what is current, with what is now, because after all, they're at school learning. What are they going to do with their GCSEs and A-levels afterwards? So what an EA brings is really valuable.
It's really important to me that young people have the opportunity to explore the world of work, and this is an entitlement for everybody. It's not nice to have, it's a must-have.
If you really want to make a difference to young people and your community, then I'd recommend being an enterprise advisor over anything else.
So now that you've had time to think about why you want to become an enterprise advisor, we're going to focus now on what it is you could be doing. So a main part of the role is around positioning and championing careers. So getting it on the school agenda and getting time and resource for it. Building relationships with the careers leader who oversees the programme in the school, and over time getting to know the senior leadership team or the head teacher to help with the buy-in from the top. Sometimes the careers leader is a bit more operational. They could be a teacher, but also they could also sometimes be on the senior leadership team themselves as an assistant head, for example. Connect other employers and businesses into that school or college through either people within your own organisation or your wider business networks. Give strategic input. What's the purpose of the careers programme? What are the aims and the wants, short, medium and long term? Be their business expert. Many school teachers and people have gone into school, gone to university, gone back into school again as a teacher, so they don't have as much business expertise, some teachers and some careers leaders, so able to pull down on your own skills about that. Help them evaluate their careers programme using the 8 GATSB benchmarks with your enterprise coordinator who will take the lead on that, but get your input around what they're doing well, what they need help on, what activities would help have an impact with that. And then over time become their critical friend. So it could be asking them slightly different questions. Is there a reason why you don't do work experience in the sixth form? Or is there a reason why you're not currently giving any of the year 10s any apprenticeship information? Slightly critical questions once that relationship develops. A key part to the role for some EAs, but isn't mandatory, is delivery. So some people want to get involved in things like having students visit their workplace or work experience, giving a talk on LinkedIn or a talk about their sector. or getting involved in mock interviews or being at a careers fair. There's different ways you can get involved, the strategic side or the operational delivery side, or a mixture of both. Just like any industry, careers in education have quite a few acronyms and words that some people outside the sector might not be aware about. So a careers hub is what we provide here in Hertfordshire. It's a group of schools and colleges and employers and providers working together and sharing best practice. Careers leader is the person in school who oversees the programme and trying to get activities running in each year group, who you'd be supporting as the main person in the school or college you're working with. There's a careers advisor who gives the information, advice and guidance, particularly in key years like year 9, year 11, year 13. Yourself as the enterprise advisor, the business volunteer. And then we have some organisations in Hertfordshire called cornerstone employers. Some of the big well-known employers based in Hertfordshire, such as Tesco's, Roche, Morgan Sindall, Airbus, the NHS, for example, Warner Brothers, who offer and look at things across the different schools and colleges and work holistically to help make a difference. So the vision for what we do is to inspire young people through meaningful experiences with yourselves as enterprise advisors or employers, such as visits, work experience, talks, careers fairs, etc. Having that relevant careers guidance at those key transition points and helping transition points to be as smooth as possible for young people so they become productive and prosper as they move into the world of work. 92% of schools in England work within a careers hub now, as in Hertfordshire we've only got one school, so we've got 111 out of 112 working with us. 93% of students are receiving employer encounters every year through people like yourselves volunteering and helping, which is what we need to help run that. 2 times young people are now twice as likely to have an awareness around apprenticeships. Typically around 70% of young people are interested in apprenticeships, but only 5 or 10% start. So it's trying to influence the influencer, and we're trying to do a bit more work around parental and teacher influence around apprenticeships. And the work that we've done in England has saved £150 million each year to reduce the amount of unemployed young people on NEET, not in education, employment and training. So that's really a key importance as to why we need your help. Some of the key deliverables as well that we have ticking along this academic year is trying to get as many schools using our free tool Compass Plus. So it'd be great if you could encourage your careers leader to attend our training that we run on that. Hosting teachers encounters, getting teachers out of the classroom and into the workplace, little mini work tasters and visits, which they can then share when they get back into the classroom by bringing the curriculum to life. Careers leader training, asking your careers leader in the school, have they done the training or are they interested? And where possible, get involved with experiences of the workplace. We are doing some research here in Hertfordshire around the different approaches and models to experiences of the workplace and work experience. And then we'll be trialling some new methods this year. So really interested to get you involved in that if you're able to. Because this has been running for a good number of years now, it's always traditionally been that a school has an enterprise advisor matched to them for one-to-one support. But as we break off the shackles, there's now more ways you can get involved. So the one-to-one support is still possible. You can be more targeted in different skills or things you bring to the picture, and target certain schools that need help in certain areas, say strategy, entrepreneurship, etc. Or you can be an agile EA if you've got the capacity or your job allows you to have outreach where you can support a number of schools. Or you can do a combination. And we're happy to work with you, whatever the best way is for you to have a bigger impact as possible. Throughout the year, we'll share opportunities for you to network with other enterprise advisors and careers leaders as we start to plan those at the moment. We've got some running at the Institute of the Motor Industry on the 28th of September. We've got one running at Morgan Sindall on the 11th of October and one running Warner Brothers on the 9th of October, depending on where you're based. We will also have opportunities in Hemel, Dacorum, St Albans, Harpenden, Stevenage, North Herts, and also an SEND county-wide event as well. So there are plenty of opportunities for you to rub shoulders with other enterprise advisors and careers leaders. Moving on to careers leaders, the person that you support in school, they're really passionate about what they do. They're really keen to make a difference to the young people they support, but they are up against it, like many people in the education sector, where they are overrun with lots of different pieces of work and pulled in lots of different directions. They might be a teacher, they might be a pastoral lead, they might be an assistant head, as well as being a careers leader. So a lot of empathy around how their time is pulled, and they only generally get around 6 minutes a day to check their emails. So the pace of business versus the pace of school can be quite different. So do bear with them. They are really interested and keen to see you, even if they are a bit quiet from time to time. They will have meetings and they will get involved, but just to manage expectations. They're involved with on top of the other roles that they have within school or college, they are involved in the leadership of their careers programme, the management of it, the coordination and the networking. And these are all areas where you could help them if you have that time and capacity. So leading their team of teachers, administrators, and the external partners they work with around their careers programmes, developing it, trying to get something going in each year group, and as well as ensuring that it complies with national standards. Managing the programme, getting careers into things like the PSHE, curriculum time, national theme weeks, apprenticeship week, careers week, managing CPD, managing the budget, having work experience being organised, careers advice, etc. Coordinating, liaising with other key members of staff, PSHE lead and the special educational needs coordinator, head of sixth form, and referring students into different parts of the programme, such as careers advice. And then networking with people like yourselves, business volunteers, as well as the colleges, the training providers, the university, and other providers as well. So busy role, but that's exactly why they need your help and expertise. One of the other things that you can help influence is the positioning of the careers leader. In some schools, the careers leader sometimes feels like it's them running the whole programme, whereas it's better to have a whole team listed on this slide. Have they got a careers administrator that can support them getting information out to parents or about work experience? Have they got a careers advisor to come in and do the guidance with the students? Are they a senior leader or do they report into the senior leader? Is there a linked careers governor? Are there other people that can get involved in the careers programme? So it's more of a team effort. Covered a lot of information there. Good time to have a pause, press pause on the video, go and grab yourself a comfort break or a tea or a coffee, and then come back and press play again. So welcome back. Now going to go through some information on the Gatsby benchmarks that the schools and colleges are working towards in England, give you a bit of information around resources and next steps, questions you can ask careers leaders in your first few meetings, and then we'll move on to a quiz and some useful information. So the 8 Gatsby benchmarks were created by Professor Sir John Holman, a former Watford head. He did some research around Europe, around what good careers looks like. He came up with Gatsby Benchmark 1, a stable careers programme, getting activities running in each year group, evaluating it, planning it. Gatsby Benchmark 2, labour market information, which is around getting information around local employers, local skills and sectors to students, to teachers and to parents. Addressing the need of each pupil, getting opportunities to hear about education via and next steps via further education providers, colleges, apprenticeships, university, employers, all of the information to all students. Hardest nut to crack, Gatsby Benchmark 4, linking curriculum learning to careers. Is careers in the PSHE programme? Is there any careers drop-down days? Do they have bits of careers coming into actual lessons, like how different job roles relate to maths, English, science, etc.? A great way that EAs can be involved is with Gatsby Benchmark 5 and 6, because it's all about encounters with employers and employees and experiences of the workplace. So are you able to do talks to year groups? Can you get involved with mock interviews? Have having people visit or experiences of the workplace within your own employer or people in your network. Loads of ways to get involved. Gatsby Benchmark 7, linked to 3, again, is about destinations, information, encounters with different types of providers, the different routes such as apprenticeships in college and university, making sure that all students get involved in that. And Gatsby Benchmark 8 is that all-important personal guidance as the student are making those decisions, particularly in year 9, year 11, year 13. Have they got access to a specialist careers advisor? So I'm going to show you a short video about the Gatsby benchmarks. And there's links further in this presentation, short handouts on the benchmarks to give you a bit more information. You might recognise me in this video from about 5 years ago, pre-COVID, a bit slimmer, a bit younger, talking to you about the Gatsby benchmarks.
Hi, I'm Steve.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and welcome to video 2 about the Gatsby benchmarks.
In 2014, Lord Sainsbury's Gatsby Charitable Foundation published a report by Professor Sir John Holman, Advisor in Education at the Gatsby Foundation. This was titled Good Career Guidance.
The report identified 8 benchmarks that are the core dimensions of good careers and enterprise provision in schools.
Gatsby Benchmark 1, a stable careers programme. Gatsby Benchmark 2, learning from career and labour market information.
3, addressing the needs of each pupil. 4, linking curriculum learning to careers. 5, encounters with employers and employees. 6, experiences of workplaces.
Gatsby Benchmark 7, encounters with further and higher education. And Gatsby Benchmark 8, personal guidance. Good career guidance and further resources can be downloaded from the Gatsby website. Please click below.
Here in the UK, the Careers and Enterprise Company are the main driver for this work. They aim to inspire and prepare young people for the fast-changing world of work. They have a national network that connects schools, colleges, employers and careers programme providers to create strategic, high-impact careers opportunities for young people.
To help schools meet the Gatsby benchmarks, the Careers and Enterprise Company have developed the Compass online evaluation tool to evaluate their school or college's careers activities in around 30 minutes. This is mapped to the Gatsby benchmarks and identifies strengths and areas for improvement.
Once complete, the schools or colleges can then use the online tracker to build, manage and develop their plan to help improve their provision and benchmark scores.
Good luck with meeting the Gatsby benchmarks, and please click below to find other videos and further information to help you. Thank you.
So as mentioned in that video, to measure those Gatsby benchmarks between 0 and 100%, we use the Compass tool, and in schools there's the availability to use our free Compass Plus tool that just gives them a little bit more information, a bit more tracking, and can also look at key groups, say SEND, special needs students, free school meals students, and track other groups, gifted and talented, etc. Takes 20 to 30 minutes to complete, and in an ideal world, it's great to have the careers leader, the enterprise advisor, and the enterprise coordinator present so that you can all feed into what's happening and then the next steps and ways to meet the benchmarks. Ideally, this happens 3 times a year, usually roughly around December, March and June time. So do try and get involved where you can with the completion of the Compass tool. Give you a bit of an idea, a marker in the sand as to where we are with this. In England, the average is 5.5 benchmarks out of 8 being fully met. In Hertfordshire, we're up to 6.4 benchmarks out of 8 being met, which is up from 5.9 last academic year. So it's great to see progress, but we're still a way off getting everyone up to 8 out of 8 benchmarks. And there are a number of schools that have only got 1, 2 or 3 benchmarks. So there are ones that need particular help and extra support. Please do ask your enterprise coordinator or your careers leader for a copy of their Gatsby benchmark report, the Compass report. and it will show you where they're doing well and areas that they could improve on, and that will be the basis of some of your meetings to plan activities around that. So what you'll be aiming to do, with the support of your enterprise coordinator and yourself as the EA and the careers leader, is to make careers relevant in that school or college, audit what they're doing using the Compass tool, and track and record what students are doing, and if there's any gaps, work towards those. Try and engage the senior leadership team or the link governor to be involved, maybe once a year. Measure impact on what's going well when activities are running and how the benchmarks are improving. We as enterprise coordinators can map and signpost you to resources and provide you with training and continuous professional development along the way. And we're all helping the schools try and secure more time for careers. As you go into your first few meetings, this slide gives some ideas of questions you could start asking your careers leader. So is there other people that are involved with careers within their school or college to create a careers team, or is that something you could help influence over time as you get to know their SLT? Have they got a link governor? Could their link governor maybe come to one meeting each academic year? Do they know how many of their students are going into which destinations at the end of each academic year? How many are going into college? How many are going into sixth form? How many are going to university, etc., into apprenticeships? If particular interests, say an apprenticeship, the rate's quite low, only 2% of their students are going into apprenticeships, that's where you as a critical frame can start asking those questions around maybe it's worth putting in a bit more support and talks around apprenticeships, for example. For those of you attending the in-person or the virtual online enterprise advisor induction, this would be a point where we would go around and find out from each new EA what type of enterprise advisor they think they might be. But for those of you watching this on video, it's a time to think about what type of enterprise advisor you might become. So could you be a local business champion who could introduce new organisations and companies to the school or college you're working with? Are you someone who's worked in your sector for a decent period of time and you could be an employer-specific ambassador where you could provide people or people from your organisation or network to give talks on your sector? Are you in early talent and recruitment? Could you help with expertise around CVs, mock interviews, LinkedIn sessions, preparing for interview and applications? Are you someone who's good at strategy that could help the careers leader look at their short, medium, long-term goals for their careers programme? Are you someone who went to the school that you're supporting or college? Are you an alumni? Are you able to offer expert support, operational support, or a mixture of these things? Are you someone who wants to work one-to-one with one school, or are you an agile EA who'd like to work with several schools if possible? So we're really fortunate in Hertfordshire, going to talk about resources now and ways to get things, to have Hertfordshire Opportunities Portal, HOP. Every Thursday at 4:30, Gareth Dace, our manager, does a podcast, virtual employer encounter with a different sector or a different business from Hertfordshire, which is really useful information for young people who are exploring different jobs, different careers, or they're not sure yet what they want to do and they're starting to research that. If you as an organisation would like to get involved, then Gareth would love to have you to come along and do a podcast with him, or bring an apprentice with you or someone from your early talent team. Also on HOP, Hertfordshire Opportunities Portal, we've got labour market videos around growth sectors and the skills needs within the county. We've also got posters around the different districts of Hertfordshire, one for each of the 10 different districts, and also around the different growth sectors in Hertfordshire. Great information for students, for parents, and for teachers. Hertfordshire Skills Framework is something that we're encouraging more and more schools to use to help prepare students and think about their skills when it comes to applying to university or applying to college or getting their first work experience or getting their first job or career. So starting to focus on what skills have they got, how competent are they, maybe out of 10 on each of those skills, and which ones are their areas for development. They could do this framework audit maybe at the beginning of an academic year and then maybe again at the end, say at the end of year 10 when they've done work experience, to see how their skills are building and developing. For those of you that want to get to meet lots of young people, pull in that early talent locally, we've got a range of careers fairs happening this academic year. We typically get about 1,000 students to each of these fairs, and we help coach in the students that may struggle to get to them during the day, and then in the twilight sessions we get parents and students to attend from all different year groups. Generation Decorum's on the 27th of September, Generation Hertsmere 15th of November, Welling Hatfield is on the 9th, and Broxbourne is on the 6th. And you've got the contact details of the different people helping to organise those ones. If you would like to have a free stall at any of those careers fairs, we'd love to have you along. Provider access legislation has created more information, more advice, more guidance, and more opportunities for students to hear about all of the different options as they come to the end of school or college. So it's finding out about college, apprenticeships, T-levels, all of the options, degree apprenticeships, as well as university. So there's now mandatory and a legal duty for schools to offer talks in year 8, year 9, year 10 and year 11, and if they go to sixth form age in year 12 and year 13. So again, there's opportunities for employers to come in and talk about apprenticeships and talk about their sectors. If you would like to be involved in that, please reach out to your enterprise coordinator or your careers leader, and they would love to have you to get involved. Another good way to position careers or to get your message out there is to get involved in theme weeks. So you've got National Apprenticeship Week, the week of the 7th of February, National Careers Week, first week in March, week of the 4th, and also within National Careers Week, International Women's Day, Friday the 8th of March. So there's lots of opportunities to get out into schools where lots of activities and events are running in those weeks. Please feel free to get involved. So we've been walking our way through things quite at a pace today. Lots to take on board, a lot to absorb. If that's felt a little bit rushed and you want to take a bit of time, please do use this video. Please do revisit these slides and use them as a little bit of a Bible as your enterprise advisor role. We don't expect you to absorb and know everything today. This is something to drop back into either before a meeting or something like that. But something to find out a little bit more information on is the Gatsby benchmarks. If you follow this hyperlink on the top right, that will take you to some information on the benchmarks, or a couple of page handout, frequently asked questions around each benchmark at the bottom right if you want to find out a bit more about those. If you're getting a real buzz from this and it's really pulling you in, there's a small careers leader course that can be relevant to enterprise advisors. So you can follow this link in the bottom right, and it tells you a little bit about being a careers leader and the careers in England at the moment and the different parts of what's going on, and you can learn more and more detail about that. So here's a quick quiz. If you'd been in person or on the virtual event, we would go around the screen and get people to answer. But for you, you can sort of think off the top of your head or go back to different slides and try and find the answers. So what does an EC stand for? What does an EC stand for? And the answer is enterprise coordinator. So our team of enterprise coordinators are there to help get the meetings happening, give you advice, guidance, training, support, and answer any questions around careers so that you feel confident when you're talking with your careers leader. What is Gatsby Benchmark 4? Gatsby Benchmark 4, seen as one of the hardest benchmarks to crack, is careers in the curriculum. So developing lesson plans that can be in the curriculum or in drop-down days or in PSHE programs. So for example, Tesco's, one of our cornerstone employers in Hertfordshire, has developed some lessons for, say, English, maths and science related to Tesco's, but how they relate to the world of work. We've also got a self-employed enterprise advisor who's created an English lesson plan around social media and how it links to grammar. So there's lots of ways that you can get involved or share your message as an organisation. How many Gatsby benchmarks in Hertfordshire are we currently hitting out of 8? And the answer is 6.4 out of 8 currently we're hitting, but we've still got a way to go to get all schools up to 8 out of 8 benchmarks at 100%. Can you name a role of an EA, an enterprise advisor? So lots of different roles, be that careers champion, build that relationship with the SLT, be strategic, be that business expert, help evaluate the Gatsby benchmarks, be that critical friend, and if you've got the availability to, you can get involved in delivery as well. How long does it take to do a Compass audit that rates your Gatsby benchmarks between 0 and 100%? So yeah, typically it takes 20 to 30 minutes to do the Compass. And if you ask your enterprise coordinator, they can give you an example of their previous one that your school or college has done to get your ideas around where they are with the programme. It was only on the screen for a very short while, but can you think of a skill from the Hertfordshire skills framework? So here are the Hertfordshire skills framework skills. So anything from teamwork to digital skills, analytical problem solving skills, lots of different ones to choose from. But it's all about getting students more familiar with skills, talking about them, giving examples of how they use and develop them in school and also outside of school in extracurricular activities, volunteering and work experience and things like that. So as we come near to a close today, just going to give you a little bit of a pump up, build up and a boost from our CEO, Ollie de Botton, to talk about why it's so important to have you guys involved in the work we do. Then I'll just tell you a little bit about something coming this academic year, which is a little bit like Gatsby for employers, called Employer Standards, and some little hints and tips before we finish.
The whole point about careers education is it must be linked to the jobs and vocations that young people are going into. And to do that, we need the voice of business and the voice of industry. I was a head teacher, and what I knew was that I worked with local employers that helped build the school. It helped make our curriculum more open to the things that young people needed. In a way, our school walls became more porous to the world of work, and that can only be good for the young people we were serving. So your role as an enterprise advisor is absolutely crucial. Bringing the voice of business, bringing the voice of local employment into the life of the school, making sure the curriculum is getting young people ready for the world of work, making sure that careers education is linked to the local jobs, making sure the careers leader and the head teacher has the support they need to build for the future. Stick at it, stay the course, be tenacious in your support for the careers leader and those young people, and together we can make a difference. And I know we can make a difference because EAs, enterprise advisors across the country, have been doing that. They're telling us they are being upskilled. They're telling us that they are supporting careers education. So stay the course and let us know if we can support you in any way. Good luck.
So just to give you a bit of a heads up, as we get later into the academic year, we're going to be releasing something called the Employer Standards, which is a little bit like the Gatsby benchmarks for employers. So if you're within an organisation, either small, medium or large organisation that would like to get involved in the Employer Standards, your enterprise coordinator could support you to help complete the standards, look at how you're providing meaningful opportunities to schools and colleges, how you're being inclusive, any ways you could evaluate or improve those, how you're building skills into what you do, which will best prepare young people for the world of work, for CV writing, application process, etc. How you're raising awareness of pathways into your work or your sector, how you're engaging with education providers for the longer term, who you're partnering with, and how you value the engagement. So yeah, the employer standards are coming. A really interested piece of work to get you involved in this academic year and beyond if you're interested. So final things, as you go away from today, with this you'll get sent the slides, but also a memorandum of understanding. So if you haven't already signed that already, please sign and return it to your enterprise coordinator and myself. Have a flick through any safeguarding and extra information. Have a look on the Careers and Enterprise website. Have a look on Opportunities portal as you get started. Just want to say a massive thank you for all your support. We really, really do appreciate your time as a volunteer. And please do reach out to myself, your enterprise coordinator, if you've got any questions or you need any steer or any extra help on your journey. So thank you very much. We look forward to working with you. All the best and speak to you soon.